Yeah, right. All right. So, welcome to the second episode of the Nets World podcast. We are very happy to be back. Obviously, I'm Max, joined by Cole, Matt, and Josh. We're all huge Nets fans, if you don't already know, or if you can't already tell by all the Nets stuff on us. So, I think that we should really get started today with obviously the last few games because they have been, I think a roller coaster would be an understatement, but obviously coming off that win yesterday in what I think was our best first half of the year. I think they took their foot off the gas in the second. And then obviously the Pistons game, which we'll get to, and a few other things. So what do you think, Cole? We'll start off with you.
Well, the past 6 games, if you look at them, have been one of the weirdest stretches of any games I've seen in a while. I mean, we started off, if you're just counting the last 6, with the Wizards loss, the worst loss, one of the worst loss ever, okay? Get that out of the way. Then we beat the Clippers, a pretty solid win. Could have been better defense, but it was a pretty solid win against a great team. The Raptors game was weird with KD just not playing, the whole COVID BS, all that stuff, and then the just horrible loss. Then we get to the 76ers game. We knew we weren't going to win that one. We tried, but too many errors early on. Then the Pistons game, another mess. And then we get to the Pacers game where they showed like one of the best halves, like you said, in the year, and one of the best defensive efforts that I've seen out of them for a while. So it's like, what is this team? What team is the actual team that is playing? Because every other game is a little different, very different. So inconsistency so far.
Matt, your thoughts?
It all has to come down to effort. I mean, in the first half yesterday, we could obviously tell the Nets, they came out of the gates. They tried, which if the Nets did just try this entire season, who knows what the record potentially could have been. It's just it all comes down to effort. It's just that simple. We could tell in the second half of yesterday's game that they got a little too comfortable. The lead started to shrink, so it's just that simple because we can out talent everybody in this league pretty much. But it's like who wants to do the little things? Like Bruce Brown is an example of someone. We know we'll do that, but we saw what DeAndre Jordan can do, so it's that simple.
Josh, what do you think?
Talking more on effort, the Nets have been playing down to their competition and losing to bad teams and beating good teams. We beat the Clippers, a good team, and we got losses to the Wizards and the Pistons, two teams that we should be really blowing out. So I think the Nets have to come out and give more effort against the good teams, against the bad teams, against everybody, and just be more consistent, like Cole said.
Going more off that, we if that's what the effort that DeAndre Jordan can put in, if that looked like him at his best, and that's I'm not going to say that's what I expected when we got him, because obviously the pay cut because of the boys to get him in, but if we could just get that some of the time, I mean, that would be huge for the Nets if the center that they're looking for could be just right in front of them. But the issue still lies in the fact that Jeff Green is the second center on this team. He can't be the second center on this team. Obviously, I think everybody is kind of on the boat of we need to get a new center. But, I mean, I don't think Norvell Pell, who was on the court and looked great, I don't know if he's that guy. He fouled out and played 10 minutes. Yeah.
Even when he was in the game, he didn't seem to be bringing that much of an impact defensively. He tries to block everything, which gets the foul trouble. So
that first block, though.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe I've heard rumors about Dinwiddie maybe potentially being on the trade market. I don't know if we could potentially trade him or something.
For Lopez, maybe.
Right before this, Max told me about that Dinwiddie for Lopez thing idea he has. As much as I would love Lopez back, I don't see it happen. I don't think
they have True Holiday. They have Holiday. They have
that's true. Yeah.
Middleton. They have.
It's not like they need Dinwiddie anyway.
Yeah, we don't need Dinwiddie at this point anymore. I mean,
I love the guy.
He doesn't fit in anywhere.
I mean, sixth man off the bench when he comes back.
I
they need
Go ahead. Go
a
ahead.
center. They need a center. That's what they need. So I know he's like one of the last remaining like glue guys this team has, but I'd be willing to trade him.
I think the problem is that everyone's looking at this win now mentality, which is obviously what you're supposed to be doing and what the plan is going forward. But me personally, you guys are gonna hate me for this. I still don't see us winning this year. I still don't see it. And I'm as much as I want me to be wrong, I just don't think it's gonna happen. But my point is, I don't think rushing this so fast in this type of season with the shortened season with all the COVID BS, we should trade Dinwiddie. He's a one of our guys. We can't trade literally all of our guys because what's gonna happen next? Oh, we don't have a power forward. We gotta trade Joe. You know what I mean? Like I don't want this to keep happening. We made our trade. That's it. We should wait for free agent center to have DeAndre be on the bench and Pell's gone because you know Pell's not staying forever. You know that's just not gonna happen. I think
Some-
guys like Bruce, Dinwiddie, obviously the big three should all stay. Everyone else is and DeAndre is all like, are they staying or not?
Yeah,
You got to keep Joe and Bruce. They got to be next year. You got to look further. We can't just look this season because if you trade him, who's next? Joe Harris is gone, and then your team's done. Because you trade Joe, I'm not gonna be happy.
you know,
I'm not gonna be happy. I just think they need to relax and figure it out. It's still super early, but they do need a center. I don't disagree. They do need a center.
right.
That's just me.
my worry for this West Coast road trip is assuming we get to play Anthony Davis. I mean, I assume he'll be back, but you don't want to mess with the Achilles, as we know. But we are going to be taking on guys like, I'm just thinking DeAndre Ayton, Marvin Bagley, Anthony Davis, like guys like that who are going to body us unless DeAndre Jordan doesn't play the game of it doesn't play to his best. And we got that last night, and we saw what he could do. He's capable of being that double-double guy. He's capable of blocking people. He's capable of dunking over everybody. We know what he's capable of. We saw it in LA, and we saw some of it in Dallas. When he's at his best, he is dangerous. There's few better than him when he's at his best.
Mhm.
There's a reason he's led the league in field goal percentage. I think it was 5 consecutive years when he was with the Clippers.
I think he
Yeah.
leads NBA history in field goal percentage, doesn't he?
Isn't it Wilt?
I think isn't it DeAndre? I could be wrong, but I think it is maybe.
Maybe it's in the paint field goal percentage.
I just think they need to limit the lobs, honestly.
Mm.
Like
It
it's like,
works against some teams. It doesn't work against
works
other
against
teams.
some teams, but even last year they were doing it. Like it's like, oh, we have no other options. Let's just throw it to Jordan.
and it's a
As much-
turnover.
As much as we want DeAndre Jordan to still be that guy, and as much as I still believe in him, because I do, I think he should be playing more. I think he needs to be in there when we're up 3 or down 3 with a minute to go. Like he could get that offensive rebound. Jeff Green can't. He's what 6'9", 6'10"?
Not even. He's like
He's not-
6'8".
Yeah,
He's not a center. He's not Tristan Thompson. It's like, I mean, I don't see us beating the Kings just because they're the Kings.
Mhm.
But the teams that I do see us beating are going to be the teams where DeAndre Jordan's at his best
Yeah.
and Bruce Brown is at his best. Because those are the two guys.
And it's funny. I just have a feeling that we could beat the Lakers, even though it'd be a close game. Like they could beat us. Obviously, we could beat them. Obviously, but I mean, I remember last year we were away with the fans. It was the last year before the bubble. last game before the bubble, and it was the Lakers. And remember, we won that game. Kind of lucky at the end, but we won the game. And then we had the nice shot. And DeAndre Jordan, I remember watching that like in the summer. I was like, oh, I just want to watch old Nets games because I'm bored. I miss it. And DeAndre Jordan was playing like how we kind of want him now, where it's like he's playing defense, getting boards, not turning the ball over, just doing his job, getting it to the ball handlers. That's all he was doing. I feel like he tries. He literally just tries when he wants to beat the bigger competition. So, like, what's our first game? Warriors? I see us beating the Warriors. What's the next game? Suns? Is it? Or Kings?
Kings, Suns.
Probably
Correct me
lose
if I'm
those
wrong.
games because he's not going to try. He's going, oh, this young blood's not going to make this. DeAndre Ayton drops 40. Okay. Then we versus the Lakers. He locks up Anthony Davis for no reason. Like, that's just how it's going to be. But, like, maybe Harden yelling at him the other night could push him to stop doing that. We gotta see. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous and annoying, but that the Pacers game, or most recent game, had me hyped. I was writing my notes down because I had the recap for it, and I'm writing all this stuff. On the first 2 minutes, he was like turnovers, like BS, just annoying stuff, and I was like, DeAndre Jordan messing up, blah 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 blah. And then 2 minutes later, he just starts throwing these crazy dunks, getting these rebounds. He's like grabbing it like with an actual like manner, like he's actually grabbing the ball, like he wants it. Did anyone notice his rebounding was like aggressive?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay. And then Kyrie does a lob, he slams down. I'm like, Clippers, he's back, and it's one game. It's like, do that every game, please.
You know damn well he's gonna go into LA and he's gonna drop like 20 and 20 just cause.
Like, do that every game. I mean, he did seem a little tired in the second half, especially in the third quarter.
He's an
to
old
me,
man.
He played like 20 minutes. I get tired of playing for 20 minutes.
He's an old guy, man. He still got it, but he's an older man, you know. But man, I want to see that again. I was so excited.
Night. I want that every night, and I want Claxton. When do we get Claxton?
Claxton is super underrated. It's just the nagging injury, whatever it was. It's like a shoulder or something. I don't know.
His knee. I have no idea what he's even injured for, to be honest.
He said he's back in a week or two, right?
And I don't know, Josh. You know?
I don't think it'll be that soon. Not a week. I don't think so. No.
Damn.
Another thing I wanted to just point out before we get into next week's games a little more is I don't know if you guys. I assume you guys all saw it because I know you were all watching the game. But at the end of the game, you see all these guys go over to Karis LeVert, and like just that moment. I don't know if you guys could tell it at like the end of the game during the press conference. DeAndre Jordan was pretty emotional after he was checking in with him. Like you could kind of just see it in him. Like that's how much that guy means to them. That's how much, you know. And that really shows what kind of team the Nets are. Like they love each other, they're there for each other, and it's great to see them all buying in. And we know the effort's there. We know that they can do it. It's just a matter of if they did this every night, we would not lose. We would not lose.
They just choose when to give effort, and that's the frustrating part.
It's only a few guys that are not like that. Like you said, Bruce Brown. He's like, that's why he's one of my favorites right now, and you better keep him because he is at 110%. And Tyler Johnson too. What the hell was that? I mean, I'm happy, but what the hell was that?
He earned his minutes because of 2 minutes in the game against the Pistons. We were down and out,
Good
and he made the most of it, and that's what's important.
Lower TLC. Lower
And then
TLC minutes.
Tyler Johnson in the game or TLC?
Tyler Johnson.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson.
No, Tyler Johnson. He deserves the minutes. He's the guy that's playing the hardest.
TLC was absolutely nothing for me. Did you see yesterday when he brought up the ball? When Kyrie right next to him,
and he like didn't know what he was doing. I was like, dude, it's just a simple bounce pass or a chest pass. Like what?
TLC will have a game where he's 8 for 10 for 3 and he can't miss, and then the next game he'll miss an open layup to win.
But the thing is with the bubble TLC, that's why I did not overreact with the bubble TLC. Because when you have guys that are confident, they know they're gonna have the ball in their hand, and they have their ball in their hand the whole game. They're obviously gonna make the points. He's not a bad player per se. He's better than me. But but he's better than me. He's an NBA player. But my point is, if he doesn't have the ball all the time, he's not that guy. Put him on the bench right now. I like him, but put him on the bench right now. Put TJ back in because he's giving the most effort.
Shumpert comes back. I like to see.
Shaman's minutes gone.
Yeah, Shumpert.
Yeah, bring him in for Shaman and TLC. I like to see 20 minutes a night from.
I'll give Shaman credit. He's played pretty well lately, Shaman.
He's made his shots. But what still annoys me is that two things. He always looks confused on where he is on defense. And two, when he gets the ball and he's not off ball and he just starts doing these crossovers and goes in and gets blocked, I just shake my head. I'm like, dude, just stick to your role. Please find your role and just shoot the ball. That's all we need you to do. You're not Joe, okay? If he just shoots the ball and doesn't put the ball on the floor, I'll like him more. But he's slowly getting better, though. I will give him credit. I won't be as hard as him this time.
Shamit started out the year with Prince. I don't remember who we were playing that game. They went like a combined for like.
Was it Grizzlies?
Is that the Grizzlies game that we lost?
I know what you're talking about. They combined for like 0 and like something from 3. or just in total. I don't know. It was one of
Is
the
it-
earlier games.
Oh, what? Also, all right. So now let's turn our attention a little bit to the games ahead, because in my opinion, this is our biggest swing of the year.
Hmm.
I mean, like, we're playing two teams that we could easily meet in the finals if we get there. We're playing Steph Curry, and we're playing the Kings and the Suns. Those are going to be a very challenging road trip. So what do you guys think we have to do to beat those teams, to be at our best? And we're getting KD back, which is going to be nice. We haven't brought him up yet somehow. But,
Oh, yeah. Forgot he's on the team.
we haven't even talked about the big three yet.
They've only played 6 games together.
Are we 5-1? I don't even count last game.
Yeah. Nah. I think what they need to do, especially against the Warriors, okay, they need to show pride and effort. And if the Warriors have more than that in the first 2 minutes, we lost the game. There's no way. Because they now have Draymond. And not that I'm scared of Draymond, because he's not the best offensive
We
player
didn't play him last
with
time.
shooting. Yeah, we didn't play him last time, and KD's back. I don't know if they're going to be all friendly, or I don't know if they're going to be angry or in between, little like untalked about rivalry type thing. But if the Nets come out and show like, oh, let's win this game. Let's get another win streak right now, right here, right now. And they show that they're better than the Warriors and they just try harder.
Won by 20.
Yeah, and they'll win every other game. They just got to keep that momentum. But if you start this road trip like horrible, no effort, not really caring like the Wizards game, and just shooting the ball whenever, you're not gonna win many games in this road streak. I think it really does start with this Warriors game. It's a big one, probably one of the biggest of the year so far.
So, what's their schedule? It's the Warriors,
Saturday.
Bears, Kings, Suns, Lakers, Clippers.
That's the stretch. Suns, Lakers, Clippers.
Again, it's just effort. I mean, if they just try and actually just play at least just average defense and not give up 120 points every single game, they're going to win all of these games.
So we're doing a pregame show or a during game show on next Thursday.
Oh yeah,
I'm
we
down.
gotta figure out the times for that.
Yeah.
No, I'm down.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing about the road trip now, since every other game is a different starting lineup, do you think they're gonna go with Joe and Harden and KD, or do you think they're gonna switch it up? Because I kind of want them to try Bruce, Harden, and KD and put Joe on the bench. I kind of want to try that. I mean, depends on matchups, but I think Bruce Brown really starting games, no matter what position he's at, really does ignite the team a bit more, and that's happened every single time he started.
This is all unrelated, but did any of you see the end of the Pistons game when TLC was playing the 5?
When they were down by like 20 at that point, I just turned my TV on.
I just couldn't believe TLC was at the 5.
The rotations are
Yeah.
a little inconsistent and not the ones I would like to see always, but I don't know.
So why has Jeff, like you saw yesterday's game, why did Jeff Green take like an entire quarter for him to get in the game? Do you remember that? That doesn't make much sense to me.
I don't even know why he didn't start.
Put TLC in, Nash put TLC in before Jeff Green.
Tyler Johnson in before Jeff Green.
Maybe either he wanted to give them confidence, which I understand and respect, or he was just trying to get an offensive rhythm because they kind of were slow offensively, especially from 3, which I actually get both points, but I also agree with you guys. Like, why wasn't Jeff Green out there? I mean, I want to ask him the question as bad as you guys, and I want to see his actual answer, because if he does have an actual answer, then I'm okay with that. But yeah, rotations are a little inconsistent. Not
That guy
always,
thinks
but
he's
I like
LeBron half the time. The dunks he goes up for are nuts.
Mhm.
So we actually have a short show today because we got to run a little bit early. So let's take a chance to wrap this up now. And I'm going to ask you guys this because I did the All-Star thing last time. Let's switch it up a little bit. What is your guys' each ideal starting lineup for the Nets?
All right, I'll start. All right, so obviously Kyrie, Harden. I think I'm going to agree with Cole here. I think we want to start Bruce Brown in the lineup, put Joe on the bench, and then Durant and Jordan, obviously. So Harris off the bench. That's what I'd probably do.
All right, what you got, Josh?
Are you talking about in general or just any game? Because I think it depends on the matchup. Like for example, the Warriors game, they're going really small. They have Draymond at the 5, and they have Juan Toscano Anderson at the 4. So the Nets can really go with KD at the 5, and then Harden, Harris, Bruce Brown, and Kyrie. They can go really small because the Warriors are very small too. For the Warriors game, I would go with that starting lineup.
Cole.
Well,
You obviously just said it, but
yeah. I see what Josh is though too with the matchups because that's true. But obviously the Bruce Brown at shooting guard and Harden at small forward, but depending on defensive matchups. But I also was thinking about this, and this is like a bit of a hot take here. What if you take Harden out of the starting lineup? Now, before you say anything, this could be a possibility late in the season. And it probably won't happen, but if things come, down to it, you could have Bruce and Joe with Kyrie, and then KD and DeAndre, obviously, okay? What if they get the same minutes, Harden with his 38, 36 minutes around that area, but you just come off the bench? Because we don't know what's going to happen. You never know Dinwiddie comes back. You don't know.
I think he will.
You think so? See, some people have different. We don't know yet. If he comes back, how will that work? Integrate the whole thing with Shumpert, Claxton. You know what I mean? Like, what if they really do end up prioritize? Oh my God, I can't talk. Making a defensive priority, and put Harden on the bench and have him with his second unit only, but having 36 to 40 minutes. It's a possibility. They haven't tried it yet, but as of right now, I would go with Bruce, Harden, and Kyrie, the 3 top. But it's possible.
How would he react to that? I don't know if he'd.
I think he's the total team.
I think he would be fine. I think he would be totally fine as well.
I don't know.
I think the one that would be confused by it would be the media, not even anyone on the team, and I don't blame them.
It'd be on ESPN all day.
But I'm just putting it out there. But.
Yeah.
He already runs the second unit already, so it
exactly.
wouldn't be
and that's smart that Nash did that. That's exactly how I wanted them to use Harden.
You don't put James Harden on the bench. You just don't do that.
Well, we haven't tried it. That's the thing. I'm just putting it
out
there.
He already runs the second unit.
What if he's willing? I'd try it.
But the problem is that Bruce plays guard. That's the problem. If he played power forward, I would have KD at the 3 and him at the 4. But there's too many guards. So it's like you're gonna prioritize defense, or you're gonna have 40-point for the Lakers. Like, what do you want? It's like that's what I'm saying. It might come down to that. I'm gonna go with Bruce, Kyrie, and Harris, but I'm just putting it out there before it happens. I'm just calling it out. Okay. It probably won't happen though.
I'd be down for it.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I'm going to go KD at the 4. Wait, why am I going that way? Kyrie, Harden, Harris, KD, Jordan, for a closing lineup. And to start, I like Brown out there at the 3 and bringing Harris off the bench.
Yeah, I think that's how. All those lineups are great anyway. So it's like you can't go wrong. It's just what are you gonna make the main thing? You're gonna make it shooting. You're gonna make it more balanced. You're gonna make it all defense. It's all that. It's all good lineups. They're all great players. All we just named. So
all right. We're gonna wrap it here, guys. Come back next Thursday. We will be here for the Nets Lakers game. Biggest game of the year so far. It's gonna be exciting. Thank you guys for coming out, and we will see you next week. So have a good one.